All right, everyone, I wonder what today's top news is, and probably the top news for the next 48 hours. This is legendary. We have now seen a new legendary moment in U.S. politics. Donald Trump becomes the first president not only to get indicted, breaking 250 years of civic history, but also the first president now with a mugshot, which he promptly turned into campaign merchandise. But it gets better. He also got back on Twitter, tweeting out his mugshot and sending out a link, of course, to his campaign webpage. I'm wondering how much money he's going to raise in the next 48, 72 hours off the fact that Fulton County is batshit. Probably quite a bit. Preliminary, I'd put it in the tens of millions mark. So more than any other candidate, and possibly all of them combined, are likely to raise in the entire quarter of fundraising. Link in the description to the two people out there who haven't seen it for themselves. Of course, if you do the wakey thing and clank to my videos, you may not have seen it yet. But it's going to be kind of unavoidable. You see, if you use Twitter, that's half of what everyone's talking about. Literally everything else has been shoved to the side. If you go on 4chan right now, it's a morass of memeing and counter-memeing by people who like and dislike Trump, flinging their shit around. It's like, it's like a zoo, which I love. That's sort of the point of using 4chan. Yes, by the way, I am aware of the thread about me on there saying that I'm going to lose my shit in the morning. I find it very, very funny. Yes, I am jubilant. When I woke up, I was like, okay, today is the big day. And I only got on Twitter, and I wanted to be able to guesstimate whether the mugshot had gone public at all. And I did that by comparing the number of messages in my inbox that were unread to like other days. So I didn't look up anything. I didn't look up Trump or anything like that. And normally I'll get like 10 or so. Like when I wake up, there'll be like 10 unread messages in the inbox and news tips and stuff like that. Today there were like 40 or 50 of them. Just in the normal inbox, let alone the requested messages, which I haven't even bothered to number yet, and said, okay, I guess his mugshot's public, and it is. But then I learned that he had gotten back on Twitter and he had broken the internet. This is the perfect God Emperor move that he needs. Take it and fling it right back in their face. I really like the one where they've shooped it up with the sort of Obama-esque colors there. You remember that Hope logo that did so well but was kind of dystopian looking, saying revenge at the bottom. He is your vengeance, the cold swift steel to smash the system. Now, while I still don't believe he's going to completely smash the system when, at this point, much more likely re-elected, I think that this helps him in more than the fundraising sense. His odds have risen in the last few hours. Well, I don't think that. He's the only one that I think has a chance of making any reform in the system at all. And of course, if I believed anyone else genuinely were going to push reform, I would expect Honk Honk to go on in the election anyway. You might as well go with the charismatic who can say, look, I'm the special person in the race. I mean, obviously I am. The system hates me so much they gave me my own presidential mugshot and let me raise tens of millions of dollars off of it. Effectively, the mugshot is going to pay his legal expenses too, which is absolutely hilarious. I'm not exactly sure what genius thought up the concept of allowing Fulton County to actually go through the motions like this, to do the mugshot thing. You knew that it was going... I mean, it's almost like, is this long-term Democrat, the sassy prosecutor down there, secretly in league with Trump or something? I'm sure that I'll see that conspiracy theory peddled somewhere. I don't believe it. It's nonsense, but it's like, it's kind of self-destructive if you're a unipartyist. Naturally, liberal commentators are having a nervous breakdown right now, and so are the DeSantis fans. I don't think that they're having a very good day. After having put in so much effort yesterday to convince people that Ron DeSantis didn't do a mediocre job in the GOP debate that 10 people watched because they were too busy, once again, watching Trump, now they have to deal with this tidal wave of shit. I expect by the end of the day there might be 1 million derivative memes based off of this mugshot. It's like Pepe 2.0. Talk about injecting the energy of 2016 into the race. Again, it just gives an image. This is the importance of memes. I wrote about this in Occult Memetics on regards to Pepe and things like that. You now have a single image that irreducibly encapsulates the fears and the anger of the public with regards to globalism and the sleazy, slimy persecution of Trump And of course, literally everyone associated with him that won't flip. They arrested Rudy Giuliani. They arrested America's mayor, the dude who busted up the mafia, America's mayor on 9/11, all these wonderful patriotic things they ascribe to Giuliani. Now all of a sudden it's do the perp walk. Donald Trump, same thing. He was considered a national icon before he started getting too political. Then all of a sudden people had a problem with him. And I think genuinely in 2016, at first they thought his run was a joke and they laughed along with him. They started getting nervous around Nevada, I think, when he didn't immediately drop out and say, well, I got other things to do, and here's mine. I'm endorsing Jeb Bush or something. I genuinely think that he conned behind the scenes the donor class into thinking that it was a joke run. I think there's probably private communiques of him saying it to that effect, which is why they ran with the line of, well, he's not really seriously running. They stopped laughing so much after Super Tuesday, you'll notice. I think he hoodwinked them, and that's why they're so angry. They are trying to persecute him. They should never have publicized the mugshot. They should not have taken a mugshot. The fact that they did is beyond reckoning as far as bad mistakes. They may have reelected Donald Trump by making a goddamn picture again. The reason why it will be so mimetic is it's irreducible. All it is one point in time, one person with a blank background, and it encapsulates their feelings at the time. If you look at Trump's posture and body language, if you look at his facial expression, it's effectively a mix of disdain for and anger at a system that has become persecutorial, backwards, old world-esque, and wrong. A corrupted system. He's going to encapsulate the feelings of everyone that's voting out of anything other than liking the way things currently are. Almost like it's 2016 again. Joe Biden represents the status quo. If you like that status quo, in other words, you live in a gated community, so you don't have to worry too much about your paychecks or something. You live in a penthouse, you don't even buy your own groceries, you don't pump your own gas. You probably think things are perfectly hunky-dory right now. For everyone else, there's Donald Trump. He's going to encapsulate that because they were stupid enough to give him a mugshot. At this point, when injecting his campaign probably with steroids, I expect him to rise a bit in polling over the coming weeks when new polls come out. I don't think this stops him. I think if history is an indicator, it helps him. They're nuts. It made no sense. Where's your strategy? If you really did believe that Donald Trump was an evildoer hell-bent on destroying democracy, you would have pressured Georgia because of its certain laws with regards to making things public, like jurors and shit like that. You never would have allowed him to bring a case. They made a big oopsie. Again, if anything, this increases the odds of Donald Trump going Grover Cleveland mode. There would be no bigger fuck you to the system than to take the dude that the Uniparty is persecuting and force them to deal with having him as a boss for another 4 years. It's legendary. I'm a very happy man this morning. That's about all. Peace out.